A portion of this video is sponsored by Chime.
So I remember the day like it was yesterday when I brought my first baby girl into the world. Well, actually, let me show some love to the moms out there. I actually remember my wife bringing our first baby girl into the world and me sitting there supporting her like it was yesterday. I remember pulling up to the hospital, getting to the hospital, going to the delivery room, then going into the shower with Charlotte. And yes, I got in the shower with Charlotte. The baby coming out, me spending time with the baby, hopping on the plane, going back to Cincinnati, coming back from Cincinnati after getting hurt, and then walking into a stage of life that I was not ready for, the newborn stage. I never thought there'd be a day in my life where I wake up twice in the morning and say that I slept well. But I'm at that point in my life right now. There was no sleep, nonstop arguing, nonstop crying, not only from the baby, but also for me. But after all that, we found ourselves in the same place all over again a year and some change later. The screaming, the pushing, the blood, there was no shower this time, cutting the umbilical cord, and then back to the house for another 6 to 8 months of crying, nonstop arguing, and no sleep. And on top of that, we had a 2-year-old this time with a newborn baby. But the one thing from going from 1 to 2 kids has really taught me is that the more you know, the less you fear. And although there are a lot of scenarios that you can't really prepare for when having a kid, there are some things that you can do to better prepare yourself before your kid gets here. You know what I'm saying? To make the day-to-day grind of having a kid much easier. Fam bam, what's good? Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to see y'all here to chop it up with your boy. Because you know, I love chopping it up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you're new here, welcome to Football to Fatherhood. I want to talk to y'all about the 3 things that I'm doing to prepare myself to have another kid. So let's get into that. So I told y'all a little bit earlier that the more you know, the less you fear. And this quote really reminds me of how I always process my life, but especially when I was playing football. So when I was playing ball in the league, our games were on Sundays. So they gave us 6 days to prepare for the game. And for me, being ready for a game really only required 3 things. Do I know my opponent? Have I studied them well enough? Do I know the playbook? Am I taking care of my body? These same principles go into having a kid, but also knowing that in the game, some things can happen that even though I prepared for them, I wasn't ready. I'm 2 kids in, you know what I'm saying? So I know I'm kind of used to having these 2 little rascals running around here. And I've built up some strength to have another kid, add another kid to our family, you know what I'm saying? And these things that I'm gonna talk about, if I would've knew them before having my first 2 kids, things would have been all gravy, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I would have been on top of everything all the time, but I think things would have been a lot more stress-free in my mind, you know what I'm saying? So what those things are for me are these 3 questions. Am I financially good? Am I making all the right decisions financially? Am I mentally ready? Can I practically add another kid to my family? These 3 questions are vital. So when we had our first 2 kids, we honestly didn't have our finances worked out at all. We didn't know how to save money. We didn't know when money was coming in and out. And we didn't really even know if our money was safe. You know what I'm saying? We should have took care of those things before. Thank you to Chime, who's sponsoring this portion of the video. All that stuff is taken care of for me. You know what I'm saying? And Chime is helping your boy get ready and even more prepared to have this 3rd kid that your boy is praying for from the Lord.
For me, making sure my money is safe, I'm saving money, and knowing when my money is coming in are the most important components that take away the financial fear and stress around having another kid. I look at that burning question that we all face. Can I afford this kid? And Chime helps me with that question. First and foremost, your money is safe and secure with Chime. Chime has 2-factor authentication, Touch ID, and Face ID on their award-winning app. If you see anything suspicious with your card or if you lose it, you can block your card with a single tap. You can also turn on real-time notifications so you always know where your money is going and stay on top of everything at all times. What I also love about Chime is if I have an issue with my account, they have 24/7 live support available. So they are always there when you need them, and Chime truly has your back. There are no overdraft fees, no monthly fees, and no minimum balance requirements, which is clutch for all the little things you gotta buy for a new baby. And saving is a major key while waiting for your baby to get here, and Chime makes saving your money seamless. With Chime's optional savings account, they make your money work harder for you. It's like putting your savings on autopilot. To take advantage of these benefits, sign up for Chime's online checking account and simply just enroll.
And it wasn't until later in my life that I realized that I was raised in a family who didn't really have much money at all, but it was something that I didn't really recognize because me and my siblings always had what we needed. We had food on the table, clothes on our back, and a roof over our head. And even sometimes when the roof over our head was, at other family members' places because we didn't have somewhere to stay at the time, it was still regular to us because we had everything that we needed and our parents loved us unconditionally, which obviously is the most important thing. And to this day, I've never had a conversation with my mom or my dad about finances, but I think I'm going to soon because I think it'll give me some insight on things that I shouldn't and should be doing when it comes to my family's finances. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I would say that based on some circumstances and things that happened in my childhood with my family and finances, I would say that we definitely probably didn't save money well or manage money well. And now Chime is helping me save money and manage money seamlessly now. And we all love payday, you know what I'm saying? But Chime makes payday even sweeter.
When you become a Chime member, you get your money up to 2 days earlier with direct deposit, compared to what you would typically get with some traditional financial institutions. So knowing when your money is coming in and getting it a couple days earlier is a win-win situation.
Chime has me covered in the most important areas for me and my family finances, and they can do the same for you, you know what I'm saying? Being secure with the finances is so important and it takes away so much stress. It's like a no-brainer. Like I wish I would have did it before Maddie and Luca, but I didn't. But Chime is getting me right now. And they can do the same for you too. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check out the link in the description to check out Chime to get your money right, get your finances right before that baby come, you know what I'm saying? And then the real game starts. So thank you again to Chime for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now we're about to get into the rest of it. And we're about to talk about this part. The mental. The most important aspect before having a kid. If you ain't got this right, I don't know if you're ready. Nah, but for real, let's get into the mental part because it's super important to ask yourself these am I ready questions before you have a baby. So when I played football, I would always ask myself a series of am I ready questions before the game started. I would always ask myself, am I ready for the personnel packages, the trick plays, and all the things that teams do that you can't really control? And am I rested? And am I feeling good? And based on how I'm feeling in these questions, I will be super prepared to go into the game and do my thing and ball. Essentially what I'm doing by asking myself these questions and I'm making sure that I'm doing all the things that I can to make sure that when the game comes up, I'm gonna crush it. You know what I'm saying? And you can really do these same things mentally before having a kid because if you don't do that, the kid gonna crush you instead of you. Well, I guess you don't wanna crush the kid. Y'all know what I'm saying. Like, y'all know what I'm saying. Now, the questions you gotta ask yourself are a lot less fun than the football questions, you know what I'm saying? These questions you gotta ask yourself before having a kid are piercers. Is that a word? Piercers. They're pierce, you know what I'm saying? They pierce your heart. The first question is, am I ready to lose sleep? Now, I'm telling you, you may laugh now, but I pray to the Lord that you ask yourself this question. I will never forget this story when we had Maddie.
So I came home early from training camp with the Cincinnati Bengals because I got hurt and I was out for the season. 2 weeks before I got hurt, Maddie was born, and when I came home, it was the first time I was welcomed to 24/7 fatherhood. For 3 days straight, I was waking up every 2 hours to change Maddie's diaper and support Charlotte as she was breastfeeding. One morning, I woke up and Charlotte wanted some rest. So I was up with Maddie, and I don't like to nap while Maddie is sleeping, so I decided to stay up and watch TV. And I was dead tired this day. I sat down, I looked at the TV, I blinked. And when I opened my eyes, I was shooketh. I was shooketh. I was looking at the TV and the TV split into two. My vision was whacked out. I couldn't see. My mind was going crazy. I was legally blind. I immediately woke Charlotte up and I told her I was sorry, but we have to go to her mom's house so we both could rest because I couldn't see straight. And this is something that I'm not making up.
So make sure you're ready for that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not, it'll scare the hell out of you. You know what I mean? I'll never forget my vision just splitting and going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we all good now. I'm getting sleep right now until the next baby comes. And we'll deal with that then. But right now we're living in the moment. The next question that you want to ask yourself, am I ready to give up my time? Now, this is honestly a super serious question because I think there's a bunch of underlying things that happen if you don't ask yourself this question and prepare yourself before another child comes into your family or you even bring in your first child to the family. If you don't ask yourself this question, there's this underlying feeling of like resentment and regret that will creep in. You know what I mean? Honestly, it does. And I'm speaking about this because I'm speaking from experience. Now, I love my kids to death. I would do anything for my kids, but not really understanding how selfish I was by default, because I never had to take care of anything else besides myself. Everything that I wanted to do wasn't up to me anymore. My sleep wasn't up to me anymore. When I wanted to do something, it wasn't up to me anymore. When I wanted to play the game, it wasn't up to me anymore. Well, I could have played the game, but I was too tired and the TV was splitting, so I couldn't play the game anyway. But I really want to hone in on this question because if you don't understand how much time you have before you have a baby, it'll kill you when you when a baby comes. And here's the thing about these two questions, right? They're gonna happen regardless. So for me, like what I was doing for the game when I was playing, I'm preparing myself, because if there's something about mentally preparing yourself for things, and when obstacles come in that situation, they're not as heavy because you prepare yourself for the things that you know are coming. So when you have a baby, it isn't that big of a deal because you prepared yourself for the things that, for me personally, were the hardest things to deal with. And the last part is very important too, and it's asking yourself, can I practically do this? Can I practically have another kid, or can I practically have a kid? You have to understand and be good in these two areas to make sure that you know that you can practically do this. And the first thing is understand that you have a routine, and can you change it? And the second thing is, are you able to give your love to another human being? And this is something I didn't really know was so important until I had 2 kids. When you have a kid, time never feels like it's on your side, right? You're constantly revolving your schedule around your kids from sun up to sundown. And whether we know it or not, we are all on some kind of routine, right? We wake up, we brush our teeth, we eat breakfast, we go to work, get back from work, eat dinner, and then you go to bed. You know what I'm saying? The simple life, the easy life. But once you have kids, it ain't that simple no more. You know what I'm saying? All that simple stuff is thrown out the window. It ain't like that. It's your kid, it's your job, and then it's yourself. You know what I'm saying? You become last. And you have to adjust your routine around that to make sure that you're getting all that you need and that you're able to serve your family well. And like I said, everybody's schedule is different, right? Like for me, I'm my own boss, so I have a lot of flexibility with my own schedule. I can adjust things according to my kids, whether Maddie has school, or I wanna go work out, or I wanna do whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can adjust that, but a lot of people probably can't. So I'll always suggest, like, understand what your kid is doing, what kind of phase are they in, what do you have at work, and what are the 1 or 2 things that you can do for yourself that gives you energy and makes you full of life to feel good. You know what I'm saying? I have like a calendar and like apps and something I use Things 3 to make sure that I have all this stuff organized to make sure that I can be the best present and active dad that I can be. And the routine is by far like the most important thing, in my opinion, for me to be a functional father. I say functional. Well, functional is true. So for example, Charlotte has a job that she goes to every day. Actually, Charlotte might be a great person to talk about her routine and how she kind of processes all that stuff with. You know what? I'm gonna go ask her. All right, Honey Bear, so you have a job that you have to report to every single day, but you still have kids, right? And you have to have a routine to get things in place. What do you do to keep your routine in place?
Scheduling. Every week, I map out the week. I've got it detailed, by day, color-coded, so that I make sure I'm getting all the things done and getting them done on time, picking the kids up, getting them where they need to go, all that.
So do you feel like having a schedule is what has your routine like at peace for you?
Yeah, because then I know like what's coming and I can anticipate and prepare for those things. So I know if Maddie has swimming at noon on Thursdays, then like Wednesday night I'm packing all the stuff up so I don't have to worry about it the next day. So it's just like it helps me prepare and anticipate like what's coming the next day or the next week.
Dang, bro. So there are some things that you can do, said from Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my own schedule that I make all the time, so it's hard for me to speak on that piece, but Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? She gave some really good advice. When it's all said and done, there's only so much that you can really do to prepare yourself for a kid, right? And I think, like I said, taking care of your finances, asking yourself those series of am I ready questions, and then asking yourself, can I practically do this by paying attention to my routine and changing it and really being able to give love to another human being. All these things just get you prepared, right? Like when you have a kid, there's so many things that can happen that you can't prepare for. When I played ball, I prepared myself well for the game, but if I went out there and I rolled my ankle or broke my leg or something, I can't control that. But there's a plan after that that I can take to get back healthy, to get back on the field, right? So you gotta be real with yourself and answer those questions honestly, because if you can answer those honestly, you will really prepare yourself well to add another kid or have your first kid or whatever the case may be. For me, outside of my relationship with God and outside of my relationship and marriage with Charlotte, my kids are the best thing that have ever happened to me. Like, I love my kids so much and I will do anything for them. And being able to prepare myself well for them prior to them coming, or even right now with Maddie and Luca, it's important. for me to be present and active in their lives right now. That's kind of how my take on like adding another kid in the family, or even having a first kid. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I wish I would have did prior to having Maddie and Luca. You know what I mean? I got in the trenches with them. You know what I'm saying? I learned and did things, and now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all kind of the things that I've learned and really what I'm doing for myself before we are hopefully have another kid by the grace of the good Lord, like I said. You know what I'm saying? So what do y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Are there any things that y'all do, you know what I'm saying, to prepare yourself to have another kid? If you do, put them in the comments. You know what I'm saying? I would love to chat with y'all about them things. So I love to add some stuff to my playbook, you know what I'm saying, to get ready, because when it's time, it is time. There is no going back. So preparation is good. So anyways, fam, hope I had a good one. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Do my best to make sure you know